Hey, it's James Raby. We have to say something here, but I don't want to say much. Thanks for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show, Radio On Demand podcast. Love you. Without a Raby shot, you doughhead. Happy Thursday morning. It's Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. I'm James Raby with the smile of the day. And Justice Jackson, who's a content creator on TikTok, just turned her hair into a Christmas tree. She dyed her hair green and then placed tinsel, Christmas lights, ornaments, and a star on it. Jackson said, getting the star right was the hardest because my hair is now so heavy, I can't really see where I'm putting the star. If you want to see the video of it, you can check Y105 FM's app. It's just cool. It's just a cool holiday thing. It'll make you smile on Y105 FM.
This is
Y105 FM Early Morning Show. My name is James Raby, and tomorrow's a very big day here on Y105 FM because, well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, but ho, ho, ho is your hint. All right, I'm sharing the morning show today with Kevin Torgerson. We're waiting for him to arrive. He has not yet landed on Planet Town Square Media Rochester, but he will be here soon, and we're going to hang out together. He's going to be a guest DJ. We're going to have a blast and a half, I swear. And as if that weren't enough, and by golly, don't you think it ought to be, I got to tell you, driving to work this morning was wildly slippery. I ended up in an intersection once because I misjudged just how slippery it was. And luckily, it's, the butt crack of dawn. So it wasn't danger to me, but it was like, ah! So there's a lot of ice under that. Be careful. And even when I was turning in downtown, it's still like, wow, this is slippery. I feel like I shouldn't have to say slow down, but I know I do have to say slow down. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show.
I know you saw those snowflakes the other day. And
peeve of people on social media is when someone asks them to unfriend an ex. It's National Unfriend Day, which was started by Jimmy Kimmel, I think, in 2011. You ever think about who you would unfriend, or who would unfriend you, rather, if you were in high school? Back when there was no Facebook? Who would have unfriended you? Like, I am certain Mr. Was it McCarroll? No, the math teacher, algebra teacher, who saw me come in 3-4 times a week asking for help because I just did not get algebra. I was just like, bah, and so I didn't want to flunk. I didn't want to fail. And so I was there all the time asking for help. And I am pretty sure he would have been, if he could have unfriended me, he would have, because he was a good teacher. He was a good guy. McPherson, Mr. McPherson. Rufus T. McPherson, we called him behind his back. He probably wouldn't have minded. Older dude. But one time I walked into the classroom and I saw his shoulders slump. Like, oh, James, I was hoping to get out of here early, is what I think he was thinking to himself. So who would have unfriended you? That person for sure. But when someone asks you to unfriend their ex, hey, that's none of your business. I once had a girlfriend asked me to unfriend someone that she was friends with. And I said, why? Well, because they're going to say nasty things about me. So why should that be hidden? I mean, I don't get it. Time. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. And coming up in the Y105 FM Early Morning Show News Minute, trouble with getting people to their court dates in Olmsted County.
This is why
A top local law enforcement official is expressing frustration over what previously had been a relatively rare occurrence, failing to show up for court appearances in Olmsted County. Good morning, I'm James Raby. This is the Y105 FM Early Morning Show News Minute. Olmsted County Sheriff Kevin Torgerson says the judges are really holding fast on this idea that they don't want to put people in jail. From law enforcement's perspective, Torgerson says that creates a challenge because we're just rearresting the same people over and over again. Hear the whole conversation on the Y105 FM app. Also on our app this morning, guilty plea for dice game murder in downtown Rochester. The former chief financial officer of Rochester's Reichel Foods is scheduled to be sentenced in February on a major embezzlement case. And new video, Rochester's flag-waving Joe cheering patients during the blizzard. And the Raby shot. Seems to be some naked trouble in Ohio. A West Portsmouth, Ohio doughhead recently called 911 after a woman started dancing naked on Noel Lane. She gave no explanation as to why she was naked. He's the guy that called the 911 is the doughhead because she was just following the rules. No L, no lingerie. Duh. Then in Liberty, Ohio, a report of a doughhead hanging out in a motel lobby while naked because he was washing his clothes. Now that's a lousy excuse, pal. Crying out loud. Y105 FM weather for today. Snow till 4 and a high should be 27. Tonight, cloudy, maybe some snow and a low 14. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Going to rise up to 16, and then it's going to dip on down to 12 for the rest of the day. Yeah, up to 16, then down to 12. That could be like, remember aerobicize? Up 16, down 12. Anyway, snow today till 4, a high 27. It is 26. And a question from a listener about a bill legalizing recreational marijuana that's making its way through the Minnesota legislature is coming up if Kevin Torgerson, Sheriff of Olmsted County, gets here in time on Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. You and the whole album, the Joshua Tree album, CD, digital download collection, whatever, was steeped in that they are hoping that gospel tradition. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. Good morning. I'm James Raby, along with Sheriff Kevin Torgerson. Welcome, Kevin.
Good morning, James.
Glad to have you in the studio in person. This is very exciting.
Great to be here. I haven't been in this side of the studio in, oh man, it's been probably almost 2 decades already.
Well, everyone's going to hear you today, so it's awesome.
Well, that's awesome.
You know, years ago, when it was Sheriff Borkhardt, Steve Borkhardt, he once came into the KRC studio, and we asked him whether he wore boxers or briefs.
Oh, my God.
That was the question of the day, and he said, well, I don't wear any. I'm a commander guy. He said that in all the years he's done talk radio, he never got as much feedback. So I'll not ask you about your underwear.
No, well, look, that's fine. Thank you.
I asked you to come in today just because I think it'd be good to get to kind of a regular idea of having a chat and hanging out with you.
Yeah.
But also, right now, working its way through the legislature is something I think a lot of parents are thinking about, and that is legalizing recreational marijuana.
Yeah.
It's made its way through the House, as it has before, and now it's got to go through the Senate, which might actually say yes to it now. And I know that's a grave concern of yours.
It's a huge concern. And it's not just a personal thing, which it is. It's very personal in a lot of ways. Historically, for people in the area, there's a lot of kids out there, now not kids, but adults who have kids that were DARE students of mine. And I was a 12-year DARE instructor, and, we taught at that time, and I still believe it. We see it all the time. You talk to recovery programs and that marijuana, alcohol, and tobacco are gateway drugs. They are generally the avenues to more challenges with addiction than anything else. And of course, we've added to that prescription drugs because we've seen that through the times as well, and more recently. But on the professional side, it's a huge public safety issue, and it's proven across the country and other places that have legalized it in various forms recreationally. The public safety aspects of it really greatly concern me, and I'm just wondering if people really understand what we're about to do if this is going to happen. It's going to make our roads and so much of our society so much more unsafe. But
isn't it true that there are zero or close to zero traffic accidents or traffic crashes caused by marijuana smokers?
No, you can, and I'm going to refer to something, and I encourage everyone to take a look at this. So we all know Colorado is the starting point of this whole discussion, this whole movement, in a sense, across the country. So I welcome everyone out there to go and look and pull it up. It's called the Rocky Mountain HIDTA report. HIDTA is HIDTA. It stands for High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, which here in Olmsted County, we are one of those. They identify counties and then ultimately states or regions as high-intensity drug trafficking. And you don't get that because you're doing good. You get that because the facts and figures, the statistics, the arrests of people that are bringing drugs into the area are significant enough that it's gotten the federal government's attention. So it's a designation from the federal government.
Why would it be Rochester? I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere.
We used to be that way, where it was just simply a stopping point, and now it is a hub of southeast Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, southwestern Wisconsin, We see it all the time. It used to be Chicago and Minneapolis, and we were in the middle, and we all thought we were, kind of that Mayberry in the middle, and nobody cared.
Right.
It's not that way anymore. Our narcotics people, either ours, the sheriff's office, the Southeast Minnesota Violent Crime Enforcement Team, which is our Southeastern Minnesota Task Force, the Rochester Police Department, we have gone from within the last 7 years or so, give or take a year or two, from where we were seeing small, less than a pound, less than half a pound, ounces in many cases of serious drugs coming in, whether it's cocaine, meth, you name it, heroin, the whole bit, and all the various kinds of heroin and prescription drugs or fake or, all that other stuff that gets thrown in there. We were seeing ounces and really small amounts. Now it's pounds. It's coming in pounds, and it's daily, it's weekly, and our people are just absolutely overwhelmed. And that's why the last few years we've been making requests to county board to add more narcotics officers, because we cannot keep up. We have 5 deputies in our office. I'm not sure how many Rochester PD has. I think it's 8 to 9, maybe 10 people that are focused on these areas of what we used to call vice crimes. Mm-hmm. And just the other day, we had 4 of our 5 guys were up in Minneapolis at federal court because they were going through that process in federal court of a large case that they had gotten into, and they were spending a whole day up there and more doing that. And we had one guy, because he was newer back here, just doing office work because he can't go out on his own. And it's just getting to be crazy as far as how much we're seeing. And I say pounds again, and it's not, it's vehicles full of it. Just recently we had one case where they had packed every panel in the vehicle. It had come right out of Southwest United States. It's coming right across the border. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. It is flat out, folks. It's coming across the border right out of Mexico. It's uncontrolled. It's just incredible, the amount that's coming through and making its way all the way up here to Minnesota. And this vehicle was packed. Every inside panel of that vehicle had been pulled off and drugs stuffed into it. And it wasn't just a certain type. It wasn't just meth or heroin or whatever. It was a smorgasbord of,
like a grocery
drugs.
store.
It was, absolutely.
All right, well, let's get back to the driving thing, because when I said there's been no accidents or no fatalities, you kind of chuckled then when we talked about Colorado.
Yeah, talked about the HIDA report. So look it up, Rocky Mountain HIDA report. And I think that, it's a 50-some page document that's renewed every year. The version I brought for you today, James, is the 2021 version. So 2022 is not done yet. Obviously, it'll be done sometime next year. But one of the first sections that talks about, and what you look at the executive summary, is from Colorado. They legalized it in 2013. And since 2013, their traffic deaths where drivers tested positive, so one or both of the drivers have tested positive for marijuana. And again, you don't necessarily get an amount like you do with alcohol.
Right.
We have the 0.08 for alcohol. And we do a really great job of that. We can test it on the side of the road. We've told the legislature in Minnesota we don't have a testing process yet. We can't do that. There's prototypes out there, and we want to try those. We proposed last year, law enforcement did give us a year or two of testing those items to be sure that we know they are going to work, and they'll work in court, because it's not us, law enforcement, makes that decision. The judges make that decision whether or not a testing device is appropriate for Minnesota courts.
Well, we need the dude scale. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. How many dudes was that? It was a three dude level. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, Colorado, since 2013, their increased number of traffic deaths has gone up 138% in traffic deaths since 2013. And I look at everybody and I say, are we ready for that? So their numbers, when you break it down, again, percentages kind of makes it sound really crazy, and it is crazy. But the real numbers have more than doubled from what they had in 55, or there was 55 in 2013, that were drivers or persons were killed in a vehicle where someone had marijuana present in their system, one of the drivers, to 131 people in 2020.
Wow.
So if we're ready to kill 60 more people annually in our state, if that's what we want to accept, I guess that's what we do. And I guess law enforcement will do what we do, and we'll clean it up.
Right.
Because if no one wants to listen to us and look at the facts that are out there, we've got to do something. And I'm not in law enforcement too. I want to say this because I get this question all the time. People say, well, medical reasons, there's medical reasons. Yes, there is medical reasons. And we have medical marijuana. And if we want to expand that, fine. Let's expand that and make it legal in that way. So it does help people who, may benefit from it.
Find a way to make it affordable so that those people that need it can get it.
Exactly. The affordability factor is another one. And again, that's not going to change when it's recreational. Like, it's not going to make the prices go down. It's going to increase it. The flow is going to increase. The cartels are going to come in. It's proven in Colorado and across the country. We just need to slow this thing down. And I don't know that the people in St. Paul are really listening.
All right. Well, we are already out of time. I want to ask you a few more questions, but I wanted to get the point of view out.
Yeah.
And I thank you for coming in.
And
today,
we'll
Sheriff.
come back again.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
It is Y105 FM's early morning show and Y105 FM. We're going to kick off the 8 a.m. All Music Hour next. And in just under an hour, your chance to win the Backstreet Boys in New York giveaway, the BSB and Me in NYC. On Y105 FM's early morning show. Good morning. If you're trying to quit smoking today, that is awesome. If you know someone that was trying to quit and you busted them when they messed up, I want to hear about it. 507-292-1053. Becca, thanks for hanging on. What's your story?
I was supposed to be meeting my husband for lunch, and he was supposed to be quitting smoking. We had made a pact that we were both quitting at the same time. And so I got there to meet him for lunch, and as I went to go walking in the building, he was standing outside by, like, one of those trash cans that has, like, the thing that the people would put their cigarettes in on top to put them out before they walked in the building. And he was standing outside, and he had been waiting for people to walk by, and when they would put their not completely smoked cigarettes in that thing, as soon as they walked by, he would grab them out and finish smoking them. That was disgusting. But both him and his buddy apparently had been doing it for a couple weeks. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know where these things have been. But they were like, but they're just wasting them. We can't let them waste them. Those are perfectly good cigarettes. And I'm like, that's disgusting.
Thanks for calling the Y105 FM early morning show. I appreciate that. And right now from the Y105 FM app, it is Louise's story. Who did she bust?
I'm going to have to say my brother. And he had ashtrays under his bed, lighters under his bed, and cigarettes under his bed. I said, why is this all under your bed? He goes, I don't know. I says, well, obviously you've been smoking, wasn't you? He's like, yeah, I thought I'd try some. So I took it out and I gave it to Mom, and I told Mom about it, and he got grounded.
You're a stinking tattletale. Didn't you know it was the kids against the grups? It's Y105. I'm kidding. Smoking is bad for you. It's Y105 FM's early morning show.
This is Y105.
A time how this is going to make me sound, but trust me, you can use whatever words you want. But every now and then, I feel like I got to go off, and it always happens around Thanksgiving / Christmas / Hanukkah / all the dates when we're going to be buying gifts around the holidays, right? Here's the sentence I just saw from the Daily Mail. Russell Crowe gifted Liam Hemsworth a $20,000 Rolex watch at the red carpet premiere for their new film, Poker Face. Poker Face. I can't say it. I'm just trying to make a joke there. What happens? I mess it up because I'm so focused on gifted. You want to say it? That's fine. Do what you do. But you're missing out on a great word called give. Give doesn't get used enough. It's been left in the dust by gifted. Russell Crowe gave Liam Hemsworth a $20,000 Rolex. That works really well. Don't need to say gifted. All right. Am I done with that? Am I through with that? I think I am. I think I'm okay now. Now, let's do another rabies shot. This time it's the Nudity Olympics practically in Ohio. West Portsmouth, Ohio, a doughhead called 911 after a woman started dancing naked on Noel Lane. Yeah, the guy that called 911 gets the doughheadness because she was just following rules. I mean, she didn't tell them why she was naked. But my guess is she was wearing lingerie and she hit Noel Street or Noel Lane, and she's like, oh, no lingerie lane. All right, just following the laws of West Portsmouth, Ohio, and someone's got to call the police on her. Then in Liberty, Ohio, a report of a doughhead hanging out in a motel lobby well naked because he was washing his clothes. James, how come the woman gets some slack and the guy doesn't? Well, first of all, I'm washing my clothes. He wasn't even staying at the hotel. That's a lousy excuse. If you can't think on your feet better than that. And also, a woman's body is a work of art, whereas a man's, as has been said on the TV show Seinfeld, is utilitarian at best. It is Y105 FM's early morning show. Michelle, going to give you a chance to win BSB and Me in NYC coming up around 2 o'clock, so hang on.
I know you saw those snowflakes the other day, and I will say.
Hey, it's James Raby. Thank you so much for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio on Demand podcast. I hope you'll subscribe and tune in Monday through Friday between 6 and 10 for more fun than you can shake a stick at.